Abuja, the protest of the organized labor tagged anti-people policies of President Tinubu's government got intense as protesters forced their way into the National Assembly premises by breaking down the first gate to the entrance. The union are demanding immediate reversal of the recent hike in PMS price, school fees and VAT, calling for the repairs of the local refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, Kaduna, and the release of 8-month as withheld salaries of university lecturers and others and workers amongst others. KAFTAN TV's correspondent Mavis Ako has more details.
Barely 48 hours after President Bola Tinubu addressed the country to roll out relief packages for Nigerians, the Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, and their affiliate unions during the protests in Abuja make cases for workers in Nigeria.
We want to make a case, that Nigerians can no longer breathe. That's the message we brought here, that we have been suffering. The injunction they got on 520, if you remember, it was on the basis of which we negotiated and got an agreement that has not been implemented to date. So any discussion, we have not started any discussion on 617. If the federal government refuses to discuss 617, we discuss other options. The labor centers will review their stand and look at further options, because the suffering inflicted by 520 is doubled with the suffering inflicted by 617.
That they want to share 80,000. Initially, they started from 5,000 naira to millions of Nigerians. Later, they now move it to 8,000 naira. The question that we all asked ourselves on the table: do you know anybody in your village that is the poorest of the poor that have received money from the conditional cash transfer? No.
We shouldn't shy away from exercising our fundamental right. One of the fundamental rights and tenets of democracy is for people to assemble freely. Nobody can take away that right. Yes, it's a right that has been globally acclaimed. In the Charter of Fundamental Rights, the right to peaceful assembly is not a right that can be wished away. Yes, and therefore we must guide that right jealously. Yes. Every citizen has a right to express his view, to express his opinion, and also exercise his right to freedom of choice.
On arrival to the National Assembly, the aggrieved protesters took down the first gate of the assembly. Subsequently, gained access to the chambers where the leadership of the Labour Centre made some demands.
We have come here to protest that very issue because we have not gone on strike for 617, and we are going to consider that option after now. Because the issue of strike and court order was all around 520, and we have not even addressed it. One party went ahead to increase again. We are only asking for the release of the 8 months withheld salaries of university lecturers and workers. Very important. Mr. President talked about 1 trillion naira saved. The committee where we are meeting, they told us that no 1 kobo is saved. Therefore, we have not agreed on what to pay anywhere. So who do we believe? Is it the committee? Is it Mr. President? We are going to believe Mr. President.
Responding to the protesters, the representatives of the raid chambers, Senator Ali Ndume, who received the letter, appealed to the union for 1 week grace to address the issues tabled.
Let us not come here to only wave flags and then sing songs and go back. Let us solve the problem that is in this country.
The nationwide protest is expected to call the attention of the federal government to swiftly adhere to demands of the people and workers of Nigeria. From the nation's capital, Mavis Ako, KAFTAN TV News.